If you guys did not have a chance to watch the Brewers game yesterday, I highly recommend watching all the way until the end of today's video because Christian Yelich, who has very much been struggling since the beginning of 2021, his MVP self might be back. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. Thank you all so much for stopping by. If this is your first time on the channel, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, as well as save yourself 20 bucks off. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek if you're going to any baseball games anytime soon. But we have a lot to get into, so without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the only walk-off from yesterday. We have the Rockies versus the Diamondbacks. Ryan McMahon is a vacuum at third base and second base. I did not know this until I was doing some research. He has 22 defensive run saves, a 22 DRS already. That is the best in Major League Baseball. He is on pace to win the Platinum Glove for the National League. You have Trevor Story making a fantastic play in the fourth inning, so just don't hit it to the left side. Well, I guess Dalton Varsho figured it out because he avoided both McMahon and Story. He hit it over everyone, and Kyle Freeland, I just want to mention, was fantastic. 7 innings, 10 strikeouts, and Zach Gallen was fantastic as well. 7 shutout innings, only allowed 1 walk on 9 strikeouts. Just the bullpen for Arizona, they ruin it. Garrett Hampson, he is hitting .417 over his last 7 games. And Elias Diaz sends everyone home with a walk-off grand slam. That is every kid's dream, hitting a walk-off grand slam. And I could be mistaken, but I think that was the second walk-off grand slam of the year for Diaz. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comment section down below. I don't want to waste any time, actually. I want to just go ahead and jump into that Brewers game because it got me so hyped up. Juan Soto, he drove in his 67th RBI of the year, so he is now sitting at a 185 OPS plus, which is Barry Bonds level. I hope you guys understand that. And a 5.1 WAR. Then Christian Yelich comes in huge with a home run and then later knocks in Lorenzo Cain, so he has 2 RBIs on the day. And Colton Wong somehow tags on a foul out to the catcher, or actually it was the first baseman, but then he scores because the catcher just decided to lollygag and knock it back to home. Eduardo Escobar brings in Christian Yelich. Colton Wong gets hit right in the back. If you guys have ever played baseball, you know that getting hit in the back is the worst feeling ever, but he sets up a bases loaded opportunity for Christian Yelich, and this was the biggest moment of the last 2 years for Yelich. A 454-foot grand slam. Now, yes, the power has dried up a whole lot in 2021, but he still has a fantastic 373 on base percentage. So if he can still get on base, whether it's hitting singles, taking walks, and if the power can come back for the last 6 weeks of the season and then into the postseason, the Brewers, they don't look like they could be beat. Now, of course, the Dodgers are going to have something to say about that, as well as the Giants and maybe the Padres if they can catch fire. But, geez, the Brewers look really good. So, over the last week, we've been talking a lot about the A's and the Astros because not only are they in the same division, but if one team wins, the other team wins as well. If the other loses, so does the other. It's a very polite dichotomy between Oakland and Houston. Yesterday, though, it came to an end as the A's got beat by the San Francisco Giants, even though Starling Marte and Seth Brown, they secure all of the momentum going up 3-0, but then KB, Chris Bryant hits a 2-run home run. Now, the A's do get those runs back in the 3rd and the 4th, but Brandon Belt, he has been very clutch over the last 2 weeks. He belts one, and Darren Ruff goes yard as well, and Trevino comes in with a 1-run lead. This is where I really think the A's miss Liam Hendricks. He gives it away on Lamont Wade Jr.'s 16th home run of the year. So Oakland takes the L, and Houston, yeah, this wasn't even a ball game. They win 15-1 against the Mariners. They actually gained a game on the A's, so the A's are now 3.5 games back. But let's break down the Astros game because it leaves me speechless, because anytime you see a 15-1 box score, you have to think, what the heck happened? So Yordan hits a 3-run blast to the opposite side. He now has 24 home runs, 84 RBIs, and a 140 OPS plus. Taylor Jones goes 400 feet, and then Houston, out of nowhere, I shouldn't say out of nowhere because they were on fire to begin the game. They erupt for 6 runs in the 5th inning for Jake Odorizzi. He only allows 1 earned run in just under 6 innings. Taylor Jones, I think he was a double or single away from the cycle. He has an RBI triple, and the poor Mariners, they got smacked in the face yesterday. So Houston improves to 39-25 against teams who are above 500 in terms of record. That is really, really good. We're going to talk about teams who are sub 500 and above 500 a lot in today's video because it might be setting up how good these teams are going to be in the playoffs. All right, moving on to the Astros nemesis. We have the Dodgers facing off against the Mets, and Trey Turner hits his first home run as a member of the Dodgers, and Pujols, he has his 11th home run against lefties. He's hitting .308 with a .962 OPS against lefties, so he has been very good against those guys. Chris Taylor continues his breakout season on his 18th home run, and Max Scherzer, he has 8 strikeouts, only 1 earned run, and 5 innings. He is so good. Taylor, he brings in an RBI on a clutch bases loaded walk to go up 4-1, and that was huge because Pete Alonso cracks a 2-run shot off the usually unhittable Blake Treinen. Jansen, he has to come in and get the save, so the Dodgers are on a 9-game winning streak, and the Mets, I feel bad for whoever scheduled them. Look at this picture. Their last 10 games have come against the Dodgers and the Giants, the 2 best teams in baseball, and they have not had a single day off. Whoever did that hates the Mets, but then again, I think at the beginning of the season, no one expected the Giants to be this good. The Padres versus the Phillies, this was a wild game. Odubel Herrera starts it off in the first with a home run, and then you have Aaron Nola versus older brother Austin Nola, and he struck out Austin on the hardest fastball that he has thrown all year, so he dialed it up for his big bro. Now Aaron Nola took a perfect game into the later innings, but Brad Miller botches it with an error at first base, and then Manny Machado breaks the no-hitter on a base hit up the middle, so that was an unearned run for Mr. Aaron Nola. A pathetic 8th inning for the Padres. They allowed 2 runs to score on 2 hit-by pitches. The score is 3-1 going into the 9th, and to me, this loss is on Joe Girardi. He should have taken out Aaron Nola. The dude was almost at 120 pitches, so of course, his 2-seam is not going to have the command that it did on pitch 17, so he leaves a 2-seam right down the middle for Jake Cronenworth, and then we saw on a walk-off wild pitch, the Padres, they get past the Phillies with a 4-3 victory. So the Padres and the Reds, we're going to talk about them right now, are still tied for 2nd place in the wild card. The Reds beat the Marlins 7-4. Nick Castellanos was everywhere in this game. He refuses to stop hurting baseballs, so he hits a home run, and then Shogo Akiyama, a very strange defensive season because he makes the fancy plays, but he has a -4 DRS, which is considered below average, but he makes fancy plays. I don't get it. Castellanos makes it 3-2 on a ground out, and then Tyler Stevenson punches an RBI double to right field as Nick drives into his 4th RBI in the 8th inning, and Michael Lorenzen, he induces a double play for his 2nd save of the year. Reds are on a 3-game winning streak, and like I mentioned, they're still tied with the Padres for 2nd place. The Yankees, they own the Minnesota Twins. MVP frontrunner Tyler Wade goes the other way for an RBI. Obviously, I'm joking about Tyler Wade, but he has been really good the last 3 weeks. Garrett Cole strikes out Josh Donaldson with the bases loaded. Donaldson was not happy with the umpires this entire series. Tyler Wade scores on a wild pitch, and then you have Stanton and Luke Voit both doubling to make it 6-0, and Garrett Cole had 6 strikeouts in 6 shutout innings. He is probably going to win the Cy Young. You guys have to let me know who do you think is going to win it in the comment section down below. It's going to be close between him, Lance Lynn, Shohei Ohtani's in there as well, and I'm probably missing someone. One crazy thing that happened in yesterday's game, I put this on the 2nd channel. Rougned Odor hit a home run, but it didn't count because he called time seconds before he hit this ball, and then he struck out, so kind of sad. And then Andrew, they call him the Squid, hits his first home run as a member of the Yankees, and if you did not know, he was born and raised in the Bronx, so he is a hometown kid. The Yankees, just like the Dodgers, are on a 9-game winning streak, and they're 2.5 games ahead of the Red Sox for 2nd place in the AL East and for 1st place for the wild card in the American League. The Rays versus the White Sox. Remember earlier we talked about how good the Astros were against teams who were above 500. The White Sox are the exact opposite. They get beat by the Tampa Bay Rays yesterday as Wander Franco doubles in Nelson Cruz. Wander Franco has been really good this month. He has a .303 batting average with 14 RBIs and an .880 OPS. Brandon Lau drives in 2 RBIs. Then you have Joey Wendell and Manuel Margot making it 6-1 later on as Luis Patino, he K'd 5 in 6 innings. Now the White Sox do try to make a comeback, but it was to no avail as Manuel Margot doubles in Brandon Lau, and then you have Joey Wendell grounding out for an RBI, and Colin McHugh has been sensational. He has a sub 1.3 ERA on the season. He comes in for the save. The White Sox are now 20-23 against teams versus 500. So if you're a White Sox fan, yes, the season has been really good, but against teams that are elite, you're under 500. You have not been good. While I do love what Chicago has done, and I really think the White Sox have a bright future, again, if you're a White Sox fan, please let me know. Are you worried about the playoffs? Because the Astros and other teams like the Yankees, they have a positive record against teams above 500. That means something. The Rangers versus the Red Sox. This was very embarrassing for Boston fans. Good Lord, they lose 10-1 after Nick Solak drives in an RBI on a single. And then Brock Holt, the former Red Sox legend, does the same. DJ Peters turns a crazy double play. He jumps at the center field wall and then hurls a baseball all the way across the diamond for a double play. And that kind of set the tone for the rest of the game for the Boston Red Sox. Brock Holt, he hits an RBI off the ankle of the pitcher. Kiner Falefa, Adolis Garcia, and Andy Ibanez make it 6-1, and Jordan Lyles only allowed 1 earned run on 6 strikeouts in 7 innings. Texas ends up with 10 runs, and the Boston Red Sox fall to 7-3 since the trade deadline. They needed some starting pitching help, and they did not get that, so they're only a half game back of the wild card, so their season is very much still alive, but they're not playing good baseball. Cleveland versus the Angels. Tristan McKenzie makes Ohtani look silly. More on him later on in the game because J-Ram is having another MVP level season, a 140 OPS plus, 29 home runs, and a 4.4 WAR. Tristan McKenzie only allows 2 base hits on 8 strikeouts. That is 3 hits allowed in his last 15 innings. He was sensational. Ahmed Rosario is hitting .375 in the second half. He now has 11 3-hit games on the year, and this made me very happy because everyone was there to see Shohei, so it was a packed house. Moving on over to the Royals versus the Cubs. Whit Merrifield scores on a wild pitch. I'm going fast because my camera's about to die. Nicky Lopez knocks in 2 RBIs for Kansas City, and Benny Bicep scores on a technicality because the catcher blocked the plate. The Royals score a 4th run on a double steal, and Bubic was cruising with a no-hitter, but the rain delay ruined it, and Patrick Wisdom goes yard. He's having a breakout year. And I just want to reiterate, a very solid week for young Kansas City starters. The Pirates versus the Cardinals. Kevin Newman hit his 4th home run of the year, and Goldie answers with an RBI double. Yoshi has home runs in back-to-back games, and Yachty immediately ties it, so it was a back-and-forth game, until Cabrian Hayes hits a 2 RBI double in the 7th, and Yoshi clutches up yet again to make it 5-3. So St. Louis, they're 1-50 after trailing in 8 innings. Now they're 1-51 because they lose the game. We have the Braves versus the Orioles. Mountcastle blasts his 21st home run of the year. He has a very solid 121 OPS plus over his first 141 games. Dansby with a 2-run double. Jock Peterson smacks his 15th home run, and superstar Austin Riley turns on a pitch for his 27th home run of the year. He's also number 1 in total bases in the National League and has a 4.3 WAR. Soler brings in an RBI on a much-needed sacrifice fly in the 9th as the Orioles try to make the comeback, but they end up losing by 1 single run, and the Braves have won 8 games in a row and 12 games on the road. They are 5 games ahead of the Phillies for first place. And last but not least, Randall Grichuk is having himself a weird season. He has 21 home runs and 74 RBIs, which is really good, but he has a 98 OPS plus, which is considered below average due to the fact that he's only getting on base at a 287 clip. Miggy, he's an 8-hitter. I'm sorry. I don't want to disrespect the man, but this double play in the 4th offended me. I mean, I don't know if he wasn't trying to run or he just doesn't move as well as he used to. He's an 8-hitter in my opinion. He's a momentum killer. Hungjin Ryu throws 7 shutout innings with 1 walk, and Simeon continues his monster season. He's number 1 in doubles. He has 30 home runs, 73 RBIs, 13 stolen bases, a 135 OPS plus. He has saved 11 runs defensively, and Miguel Cabrera strikes out to end the game. And I really hope that he gets home run number 500 fairly soon because the Tigers have not been playing well. And overall, just the vibes of the Tigers are kind of weird lately. But with this win, the Jays are still sitting at 4.5 games back of the wild card. But that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to use code Fuzzy to save 20 bucks off on SeatGeek if you're going to any baseball games, and enjoy this day in MLB history.